director role. It is a good thing to do, just so anybody can pop up. Those are the big things. I guess maybe the broader question I would have: how is everybody handling our pandemic situation? Is everybody holding up well? Are you finding interesting ways to do philately in the midst of a pandemic?
Well, in my case, I feel that I have been going to a course about every week because it's stuff that's in the back of my closet that I am cleaning out, I am finding I didn't know I have. So in that respect, I'm doing well. But I think stamp collectors will do better than other people because we are used to doing things alone and sort of entertaining ourselves. Plus, I was an only kid, and that helped. But I know that our club is wanting to get back together again, but afraid to do so.
Yeah, I understand that. And I haven't really heard the results, but I know St. Louis had their show, had their WSP show. I don't know how well it went or if there's anything that happened with it.
It wasn't the WSP show.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, it couldn't be because it didn't have enough exhibits.
Ah, okay.
It didn't have appropriate judges for a WSP show.
Yeah.
So they had a show.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised they pulled it off, but I'm wondering how it went. All I saw were a couple of funny photos of.
Yeah. My understanding is they had to go because the hotel, their venue, would not refund their money. And yeah, exactly.
Ouch.
Yeah. And I think I read someplace that they had about 200 customers, which is way, way, way down from their usual. But the dealers, according to the report, seem to be pleased with what they did get.
Yeah, and I think going forward, we're going to see shows try and shows cancel, and I have no great insight as to when things will get back to some semblance of normal. So
I've been going a lot more online, finding events like this, the APS virtual show. I attended that and several different meetings. Just been finding a lot of interesting things through Facebook that I've been able to post on our Federation page. It's like everyone else, going through and getting my collection reorganized.
yeah, I did a lot of that both with the collection and with the house broader, and I went through a lot of things, including what I've referred to as my scary boxes, which I finally did pull out and clean out. And I'm afraid the phrase, "Where did that come from?" came up a lot.
Or why do I have that?
Yeah.
What was I thinking?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I have this big of a
society just finished.
Who was that? Go ahead.
The Pre-Cancer Society just finished the month of August with a virtual meeting. We were supposed to be in South Carolina, but that of course got canceled. We had about, I would say maybe 10 Zoom meetings, and it was very interesting because would take over and share their screen and show things and ask questions and tell stories. And they were really quite interesting meetings. I learned that you can do a lot of things on Zoom that you can't do by email. So it was actually a lot of fun. I learned quite a bit.
That's true. Keith has been participating in some of the Sudan Study Group Zoom meetings, and India Study Circle, they have Zoom meetings every other week. And then once a month, we participate in the Evergreen Stamp Club Zoom meetings and Straight Stamp Society Zoom meetings up in Sequim. So it's, these are meetings we wouldn't normally attend. So it's kind of fun to participate in those. Thank goodness for technology in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
The Puget Sound Collectors Club meets every Thursday at 1 o'clock, and basically we do a show and tell. of either things that we have or things that we've seen on the internet or whatever, and we try to, pick apart and understand whatever odd philatelic items we may have come up with. So that's been fun. If anyone's interested, anyone can come and join those meetings. You have to be a member of the club. We have one person, John Wins from Tucson, that joins us every week. So just contact me. You can get my email from Carol if you want to join that.
Huh.
We've got, I think the new normal is going to be some semblance of what the current normal is. So I think for in the future, meetings will be part in person and other people joining by technology.
This is Lisa. I did send an article to the Northwest Federation regarding the Evergreen Stamp Club Zoom meetings, and I invited all the Northwest Federation attendees to come and join us and how to do that. I think the APS did ask for all clubs that have Zoom meetings to let them know, and they would post information on this APS like meeting site. I did not want to do that because it's too broad for our small club. I want to keep it in the Northwest. Anybody can come, but I prefer Northwest because we all know each other. But I think it would be beneficial if those clubs and organizations in the Northwest would send to the Federation. We could put it on the Northwest Federation site, not the Zoom link, because then you'll get Zoom bombed, but the time you're having your Zoom meetings, when they are, and who to contact to if they want to be invited so that we could attend, because I don't, it'd be beneficial for those of us who would like to try the different meetings in the Northwest.
When is your next meeting? Because I would like to attend.
We're the third Wednesday of every month at 7. We start opening at 6:45 for like social, but it starts at 7. And I'll send you the information. But I would like to go like to the straight stamps one. I'd like to go to the PSCC. I work full time, so that's been part of my issues. Is a lot of these meetings people have, they're doing them at 2, 10. I'm at work. I can't take my break.
More organizations very well could go towards Zoom, because I've been hearing whisperings for a couple of months, and other people have confirmed that spring shows are really up in the air. And I've already seen non-philatelic events that have already moved to Zoom virtual events. And like the Sew and Stitch Expo, that's at the end of February, they're doing a virtual event already, and this is only September, and they're planning for a virtual event. So we could very well see more spring stamp shows going virtual as well.
Okay, I need to break in for a moment. We have had a couple more people join. Ann Harris is on. Hi, Ann. And we have a Terry on, so welcome. Welcome to the meeting, both of you.
Sunday noon, getting all those sneakers. But to make game day even more perfect, we found the perfect live halftime entertainment. Tap dancing.
Okay.
Salem Stamp Club is having Zoom meetings, and probably going to have a joint meeting with the Sacramento Club in October.
Oh, nice.
With a good program.
You folks from the Inland Empire, are you folks having Zoom meetings?
Not yet. We're still doing a newsletter and keeping in contact that way, but I would be interested if we could set something up.
I'd be interested in joining the meetings and hearing what you all have to say.
Oh, we'd be glad to have you, and if you're doing one too. One thing I wanted to mention to you, I'm originally from Boise, and I was a member of the Boise Stamp Club 40 years ago. That was my first club.
Okay, well, do you remember Bob Pyle
Oh, yes, very well.
and Henry Parker? Okay,
Oh, yes.
we'll touch base later.
Thank you.
Well, Snow King has the ability to go Zoom, but the administration does not want to.
Hmm.
The administration is the club members. The club members are welcome to start it and do it themselves, and anyone can attend.
Yeah, it's the president and he doesn't like Zoom. So I just haven't had a chance to kick the other board members into gear and see what they want to do. Yeah. We're starting to get orange up here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I can't tell, my windows are covered.
You're downstairs.
I don't usually look outside until late afternoon anyway, so don't know what it's like out there. It was pretty hazy yesterday.
On days like this, you don't want to look outside.
It's about twice as bad as it was yesterday, Eric.
Ooh.
It is. It is. There's no sunshine.
There's no sunshine over here in Spokane either.
Well, there's not normally a big reason for me to look outside because I don't have much of a view, so.
Lori just commented that we're not having a stamp meeting, we're having a weather meeting.
Well, what else are we supposed to talk about?
It's more like it's air quality.
Yeah.
I know I got an email from Bill that Bill has things to talk about. So, Bill, you want to go ahead?
Okay, thank you. I'd like to do a share screen. I wanted to talk a little bit about our Federation Facebook page and the historian archives. So I'm gonna, if I can go ahead to the share screen, and there we go. So just a little bit about our Facebook page. There you go. Okay. The page was established about 5 years ago. How many people are familiar or have come to the page?
I have.
Okay.
Yes.
There it is. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, basically it started 5 years ago, and it's just a way to, there you go. This is a picture of our homepage for the Facebook. It started 5 years ago, and basically what we share on the page is either pictures of new stamps that are coming out, like this one for the new Mayflower stamp, or pictures of historic stamps honoring anniversaries or just historic stamps. Also, different interesting, this was a post that someone did from Washington history that was about a book about postmarks from Washington State. If you go to the Facebook page, you can scroll down to the page and it has a link to a news story about this. Also, we were sharing pictures. You can also share videos. For example, this is a video of a first day ceremony for the Bugs Bunny stamp that came out. And also just interesting historic pictures. This was a post office originally near Port Angeles. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And then also honoring people. This was honoring Wayne Youngblood and Jack Consgrove as distinguished topical philatelists. But there's all kinds of interesting information available out on the web. And these are all just different links that and pictures that I found on my own Facebook page and shared with our group. We right now have 50 members. You do need to be a Facebook member in order to join, but that's free. And I'd just like to encourage anybody in the Federation or any stamp collectors, if you want to share any photos of stamps, or if you want to share your event, like stamp, when it, if it does, when it does come back, stamp shows or stamp events, please feel free to share. I do monitor the page every day, to make sure we've never had any inappropriate content, but, we want to make sure everything's safe. But here's the link to get to the Facebook. It's www.facebook.com. And then at the top of the page, this is the original page, there's this box right here. You would type in the Northwest Federation of Stamp Club pages and click on the magnifying glass, and this page will pop up. The cover picture is from Redfish Lake in Idaho. So if anyone is, we'd but if anyone, we've had several people that have shared information, and if anyone else would like to, you're certainly welcome to do this. And then the second area I wanted to talk a little bit about is I'm also the Federation historian, and in 2018, I picked up material that was held by Dave Harris, and also Jack Cotonsgrove had information archives too, and he put it all together. This is a picture right now. We have a total of 8 boxes of programs, Federation newsletters, all kinds of history. This is in my basement of my house. Jack did a great job of putting all the information together, and I'd like to encourage any stamp clubs or anybody out there, if you have anything you'd like to send or share in the archives, like programs from stamp shows that you previously held, old minutes, covers, any kind of memorabilia that you'd like to, preserve, I'd be more than happy to get that organized for you. And probably the easiest way to reach me is my email address is right here, billailes1@comcast.net. I am looking for a PIPEX program from 2018 and 2019 because I was unable to attend those shows. But if anyone else has any kind of information or archives, I do have, I need to find it, but some old posters and flyers from the Boise Stamp Club shows. And I also have some information from the old Yakima Club. I am a former president of the Tri-Cities Stamp Club, and have some information from Yakima. But if, if there's like any older clubs, like I know that Bellingham recently left the Federation, and if there's information from them, that would be great too. But if anyone has any information they'd like to share, that would be great.
Well, thank you, Bill, for doing that. We appreciate it. This is Lisa. I have still boxes of archived material for the Fed that belongs to the Federation, and for PIPEX that was in Jack's house that he hadn't finished organizing. But we haven't been able to have a stamp club anywhere to meet. Otherwise, like I'd bring it to PIPEX, or we would have brought it up to Larry and I would have exchanged it at the Evergreen Stamp Show, but it didn't happen. Or at CPEX, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well,
Huh?
I was going to say, I'm planning when everything and when next time we have a show, I'm definitely planning to be there. So.
All right. Yeah. So reach out to me and coordinate anytime you're up here, because it's currently all in my garage now instead of his.
Yeah.
Maybe as part of whatever show that is, we put something on the calendar as this meeting is archive deep dive or something like that, and we try to shove all the archive boxes together.
Sure. But anyway, this is just a picture of what all I have right now for the Federation, and it's in a safe place, so in our basement. So
I think we should have a Federation museum We need a building. Who wants to donate a building?
I wonder, because in the basement of the Oregon Stamp Society, they have a philatelic library. Maybe that might be a.
Well, they're very limited on space. That's the problem.
Yeah, that looked pretty full last time I was there.
And I belong to a women educators organization, and we, a number of years ago, started placing things in the state archives at the University of Alaska Fairbanks. Now, and my position is to keep that stuff updated every year. That's easy for me now that the major stuff is up there in Fairbanks, because I just have to send in the minutes and records for 2 years, and I do get to Fairbanks fairly often, so I can deliver it in person. But you may have there may be a state archive somewhere that people could access. What it involves here is we have given them our material, but any of us have access anytime. We just have to go in, sign in, wear the white gloves, go through the material, cannot remove it, but we can make copies, take photos, whatever. And it's really worked out well for us.
That would be good in the sense of Washington. We have the Washington Archives and the History Museum, but for the Northwest, I'm not sure of one. Does anybody know of that would cover all of our states?
And actually, the Federation includes parts of Canada as well.
Correct.
Okay. I hadn't thought of that. That could be a sticking point.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was just to have a building that can archive all the Pacific Northwest Club material, and I guess that would include Canada.
Well, when one of us wins the Mega Million lottery.
Yep. Okay, Bill, are you done?
I'm finished. Yeah, I'll go ahead and
all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bill, I'm pretty sure I can get you the HIPEX programs.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Another possibility might be a university, because I know the University of Oregon has an archive division, and there might be then a university that would like to be able to take these things once maybe they're somewhat organized for them. Also, as historical or reference, and I don't know now whether it's the boxes that Lisa has or the boxes that Bill has, but I did deliver a few years ago some of the things from Len Lukens, who was a historian before that, to Jack. So a lot of the things that Jack has. I still have a couple small files that I have picked up since then from Len. So, I have a couple things to pass on too.
Yeah,
I'll bet you anything then that 2018 and 19 stuff is in the boxes that Lisa's holding. So that should complete that section. Yeah.
Yeah, I picked up the information from Len Lukens. Well, actually, Jack picked it up from him, and then he delivered it here to Spokane, and then I gave him some other boxes that I believe Dave Harris had that he got organized, and then I had everything at the last CPEX. So.
Yeah, the boxes he has for both the Federation and the HIPEX history, they're all in files by year with newspaper articles, show covers, everything. I did send the thumb drive as far as the data where he was correlating it all to all of you. Well, not all of you. It went to Larry, and then Larry distributed it, and George. But I have the actual items. That's just the archive of it.
The universities and or historic things anyway, do they digitize the information so it's online as well?
Just a comment about how the University of Idaho or Washington State would do their archives. First of all, almost every university is getting big cuts, and that includes the library, which includes the archive section. So it's very doubtful whether or not they're going to want to take anything. The University of Idaho, where I was involved with some stuff at the library as one of the faculty members, that it would take, even in the best of times, it would take 3 or 4 years for something to get donated and then show up on the catalog unless the donation included funds for doing all that. And so that for the next few years, at least until budgets get straightened up, I don't think there's any chance at all of any university or historical society. I sent some family stuff to the Washington State Archives, and I got back a neat little letter saying, thank you very much. And that was 4 or 5 years ago, and it still hasn't shown up on anything. So I protect your basement, make sure you got insurance on it, and make sure that the pipes aren't going to break and get everything all wet. Like happened to a good friend of mine with his whole stamp collection. He lost everything he had.
Oh.
When some pipes broke in his basement.
Yeah, well, you might want to keep it off the floor anyway.
Oh, at the very minimum. So,
Yeah, I've got a shelving unit I can put up for it, so I'll do that.
If you put it on a concrete floor, then dampness will creep up into it.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
Okay.
And Bimart's has been having a special on plastic racks of heavy cargo capability. So go to Bimart's and get some racks.
Yeah.
What's a Bimart?
And if you do that, Bill, let us know so we can get funds back to you. But let the board know ahead of time so we can authorize it, and then we can help pay for it.
Okay, that's
definitely.
I had a cat that needed attention. Is why I bailed during your presentation, Bill. But yes, I've been following the Federation Facebook page for a while, and Bill puts up really interesting stuff. So thank you for doing that. I wanted to tell you that.
Well, thank you.
Okay. And one thing for general information, bringing in the other hat I wear, the American Topical Association is planning a series of programs during October for Stamp Collecting Month under the general theme of fall into topicals. And we have set so far, and we're still gathering some more. There's going to be a program, The Most Beautiful Bridge in Paris, which is Tom Broadhead, and will be Thursday, October 8th. There's going to be one, Nurses and Nursing on Stamps, by Ann Byerly. There's going to be Innovations in Railroads, as shown on stamps, by Bill DeWitt. There's going to be another one, Indigenous Peoples of the World on Stamps. Elizabeth Heisey is going to teach us to telling stories with postcards. Very topically, in many ways, Jean Yang is going to be doing COVID-19 related philately. There's going to be the Philatelic history of Roberto Clemente on stamps. And a look at baseball stadiums through the years. There's going to be a topical collecting 101. So where to begin? And Don Hammond is going to do one on how old is my postcard? That is the beginning. They're looking at doing more programs, and that's going to be throughout the month of October, and the schedule will be up on the ATA website.
On the new ATA website.
On the new ATA website, and you do not have to be a member of ATA to attend, but joining is encouraged. We're a fun group. Okay, anything else we need to talk about, or anybody have anything they want to bring up for the good of the Federation?
Oh, yes, I do have one thing.
Yes.
On September 25, 1980, Spokane hosted the APS Stamp Show. So this will be the 40th anniversary of their show, and also my 40th anniversary as an APS member.
Yeah. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That particular show was the first one that I ever attended. So
It was my first national show and I really enjoyed it.
Eric, we've added a few more people. Maybe they could introduce
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah, anybody who joined after we did introductions, would you please take a moment and introduce yourself?
Ann
This is.
Harris. How
This
do
is.
I?
Hello from Victoria, Reg Smart.
Hi there.
Hi.
Glad you could make it.
And
How
this
do I get
is.
the talk? Oh.
Okay, Ann Harris, you have the mic.
I hope I do. Do I?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. I've been trying to figure that one out. Glad I could finally get on the meeting.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
And this is Mr. Lefty Dundee. I do not have a camera, so you won't see me. I've been a stamp collector since the 60s to various degrees. My military time overseas has shown me the value of the postal services, especially when you're working with the APO, FPO to deliver mail to troops overseas. Topically wise, with the firefighters putting up the flag at Ground Zero at 9/11 should be one of the most recognized stamps around. So there's one for yesterday. I'm in Eugene, Oregon, and we are downstream from all the fires in Oregon. So air quality is less than poor, but we have not had to evacuate yet. So both sides of the nickel there. A lot of people have lost their homes. People remember the Paradise Fire in California last year. That has happened in Talent and Blue River and Vida and probably several other cities right off the bat here in Oregon. So it's really nasty. Turn back to net control. Eric Knapp, this is Lefty Dundee. Out.
Thank you. Terry Leishman, you have your hand up.
Yes. Hi, folks. Terry Leishman here in South Surrey, White Rock, BC. I've met a few of you folks at the Nikkei Center at one of our shows. We have been unable to hold meetings. Our protocols in BC are very, very strict, but we have done something rather unique, and we've had 5 parking lot sales. We've had it's a boot sale or a trunk sale, and we've had over 22 cars, 22 individuals that have adhered to the strict protocols. We have set up tables, and we've had a marvelous time. We go about 2 hours on about a weekly basis, and we are still enjoying our great hobby. That's all I really have to say. And you can look at our website. It's the Peace Arch Stamp Club, and I have pictures on and a little blurb on each one of our parking lot sales. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you for attending. And yeah, that's a parking lot sales. Neat idea.
One suggestion from another circuit. I'm also a biker. The Abate of Oregon has a swap meet twice a year. It's been at the Elks Lodge in Milwaukee, and they have a huge parking lot. So they just set up spacing, and all the people who had motorcycle parts or various other items related to the that form of transportation had a big swap meet there. So it can be done. Back to Eric.
All right, thank you. Okay, so
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Ann.
Okay. We have our, Eric, what's it called? It's a great big food thing. And of course, we can't have it downtown in the park. We've gone to the Pig Out in the Park is what it's called. But it's huge. And we've gotten the fairgrounds, and people are driving up with their orders and getting their food that way. And I think maybe if we could go to a fairgrounds or something, that would help. We could get our dealers out there, and even if we have to just drive up in a car or whatever, I think we could do it.
Part of the thing with the stamp club is, or stamp show, is that you can browse through their offerings. It's not, we don't just order
Yeah,
things ahead of time. So that's
I know that.
from the pictures of these boot sales that I just saw online, it seems like they do have that capability.
Yeah, and I think we could do something like that and find a parking lot that we could use, and as long as everything isn't burning up and making breathing bad.
And it's not raining.
And it's not raining over there, yeah.
One suggestion, from the way that they did the APS show in Hartford, they had dealers from eBay who already had lots of lots that you could look at, showed up with their stuff, and then they had virtual links to either that dealer's website or to that dealer's listings on a media like eBay. That way you could see what the dealer had to offer either ahead of time or during the show, and you could communicate with that dealer during the show. So if you had a chance to look at the stuff ahead of time, there would be a way to get the protocol done. Back to Eric.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think as we're seeing here, there are lots of good ideas floating around, and we are still in early days on this, and we're still trying to figure out what we're doing. And I would give mad props to everybody who has tried inventive ways of doing things. And as I mentioned in other meetings, at times I give mad props to Zoom, because they started this thing as a small company with an interesting, if not quite fully baked product, and they got tossed headfirst into having to serve suddenly orders of magnitude more people than they were planning on in their business model, and they've managed to pull it off. And we've had lots of clubs manage to pull it off in different things. And APS managed to pull off the virtual stamp show in a remarkably short amount of time. So people have been inventive, they've been smart in doing things, they've been careful in protecting themselves, and the results so far are really kind of interesting and kind of gratifying.
One suggestion, once again, from another discipline. On the radio circuits, you're basically on a party line. And if everybody talks at once, nobody can understand what anybody said. So they take the protocol from the broadcast industries. You'll get on your news shows about how the anchor would pass the microphone and camera over to the weather forecaster or the sports forecaster. And then when they were done, they would pass it back to the anchor. So when I say back to Eric, that would take care of it. The other option with the protocol is the way I'm doing is holding the space bar down to unmute my microphone. That way you don't have background noise like Ann's doggy barking and keying up the microphone from their side. So it would be the point of having less people with open mics, so to speak. The other thing to look at is for the folks with cameras is have more lighting on your face as opposed to your background. The gentleman over in Spokane with the big open windows behind him, the glare basically destroys all the view from behind what you were looking at, and it would not be Eric, but the other gentleman that had the big open windows behind him. Well, when the sun shines in those windows, it tends to overload the cameras. There he is. Once again, the aspect two is have the camera up high enough So we're not looking up your nose when we're looking at you in your picture. Back to Eric.
Thank you. Yeah, like we are all learning these, old techniques and protocols from a long time ago that all of us are suddenly having to learn. I see it in the corporate world too, as we try to learn to do things that used to be done in meeting rooms are now being done on Zoom and on Teams.
Heck,
So anyway.
even outdoor movies are back in vogue and making money.
Yeah, interesting times.
Question for Terry Leishman. Terry, what's the name of your club?
Well, if we don't have...
Hi there. Yeah, I'm here. It's the Peace Arch Stamp Club. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Peace Arts?
The Peace Arch Stamp Club. We're just north of the American border, about 25 blocks. We take the name from the monument that straddles the 49th parallel.
Okay.
We're a very, very active club. We're about 60 plus members. So when you can get 20 people out to a parking lot sale from 4 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I think we're doing fairly good. So please take a look at our website and share some of our ideas on keeping our hobby alive in the outdoors.
Thank you.
I want to thank Mr. Leishman and the Canadians for maintaining that park and the monument at the border where I-5 goes into Canada. It's a very, very, very thrilling place to go to, and I always have a lot of respect for the monument and the grounds around it. Second only to the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. is a place that endears lots of respect and lots of courtesy, and many thanks for the Canadians for having the Arch Park. Back to Eric.
Okay, well, we're coming up on the end of our hour. Is there anything else we need to talk about at this point?
Are you going to have a board meeting?
Well, we don't really have a lot that we have to talk about for a board. I mean, I think the biggest thing would be simply declaring that the next general meeting will be at PIPEX in 2021, barring anything else. Is there a motion to that effect from the board members?
I so move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, and that is
And
really the
Eric,
only, yes.
Can we put a reminder in again that we are looking for webmaster and permanent editors, so that we've got people here, and if they've got people, if they're willing to do it, or if they have somebody to suggest to us, please let us know.
Definitely, I will put that in.
It's somewhat challenging. If you look around the room in Zoom here, all of us that are sitting here already have 5 hats. We're already on multiple boards, multiple activities of doing things. I'm sure we would love to, but we're already tapped.
Bill Seymour took over for my husband for CPEX and doing our virtual show. And maybe we could talk to him about being our webmaster.
You could ask him, but he's also webmaster for PIPEX. But it doesn't hurt to ask.
Well.
Yeah. But that's the only other person I know.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe Ann on the right arm and Carol on the left arm. It can be well twisted.
Looking right over.
Carol, do you want to mention Dave's award while Ann's on the line? I don't know if he knows or not.
Oh, David does know. because they received the award on Thursday, which is why we could post my welcome video because I mentioned it. Dave Harris, I explored his background and found that he was more and more deserving of the CPEX Distinguished Philatelic Award, and it's a good honor. He has maintained CPEX's website since 2012, and Dennis isn't on today, but Dennis Fortney researched and found that CPEX board at that time voted that David Harris would start the CPEX website, and he has maintained it up until this year, July. And he's also had a huge hand with Anne in the John Arndt Symposium over the years. He's also done the Federation website. And, you know, David's well-deserved, definitely well-deserved for his honor. So he received everything on Thursday.
I was kind of wondering what you were saying in that video because for some reason I don't get any sound.
Oh, believe me, there's sound.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the volume turned all the way up and I'm hearing nothing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what the deal is. I mean, I can hear other videos, but I can hear you guys. But
well, that's interesting. Weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
Okay.
Something else we could remind people of, since we've got Federation people here, is the John Arndt Symposium in Moses Lake, which is usually the first weekend of April. And didn't have it because of the virus. Hopefully we will have it at least 2 years from now, if not this coming year. But it is a great time, good presentations, various auction lots for sale, and we get together, we have a great time. I've enjoyed it very much several times I've gone.
Absolutely.
Hear, hear. Okay, is there anything else? Then I'm going to declare this meeting closed. Thank you everybody for coming, and I hope you continue to enjoy the virtual CPEX.
Thank you, Eric.
And whatever comes our way in the future.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Eric.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
One quick plug to Eric.
Yep.
Over on Yahoo, I have my Yahoo page, Lefty Dundee, and I have the list of upcoming stamps for this year and the ones who've already been issued. I can send PDF copies of it to anybody for free. You can't sell it or use it in advertising because it's copyrighted by the post office. But the post office doesn't complain much about free advertising. If you would like to be on my blind carbon copy email broadcast, then send me a request, lefty.dundee@yahoo.com, and I will include you on the broadcast list as well as sending you the original copy and the syntax. It lists the date of the issue and whether it's on automatic distribution or not, images of the stamp or stamps, images of the cancellations, the city of the first day of issue, and then the USPS item numbers and the costs for what you'd like to order. All this is mostly derived from the postal bulletin. The only one it didn't have for this year was the Drug Free America stamp, but their stuff is all the last week of October, so I'm figuring that will probably come out October 23rd. All the other stamps for this year are already on the list. So once again, if you would like it for free, because that's the only way I can give it away is for free, then send me an email, lefty.dundee@yahoo.com, and I will put you on the broadcast list. Or if you don't want to be on the broadcast list, but you'd like one copy, say so in the message that you send to me. Thank you. Back to Eric.
Okay, thank you. And with that, I think this meeting will be ended. Carol, go ahead and stop the recording, and I will shut down the